Here's my simple idea about conscious minds and subconscious minds and how they work and connect together. Now, our conscious mind is like a smartphone. We use the conscious mind to connect to the subconscious mind, right? Our conscious mind acts more like an input and output device for the subconscious mind. We think that thoughts come consciously, but what happens is whatever we see, learn, hear, basically whatever data we gather from the world, all that data is processed by the conscious mind, and then that data is then just shifted to the subconscious mind, and then the subconscious mind generates thoughts, beliefs and ideas for us. We don't come up with unique novel beliefs and thoughts from the conscious mind. I just don't think there's enough power, enough bandwidth to come up with novel things in our conscious mind. Now, put simply, the subconscious mind is like the internet. I said that conscious mind is like the smartphone, and we use the smartphone to connect to the internet, to the information available in the internet, and we also use the smartphone to connect to other smartphones, video calling, text messaging, etc. I think conscious and subconscious minds work exactly the same. So we use the conscious mind to connect to the hub of information that is the subconscious mind, and we also use the subconscious mind as a medium to connect to other conscious minds. That is why I think we feel emotionally connected with other people and other things, because I believe everything is connected to one subconscious mind. People usually think that they have separate subconsciouses. So like you have a separate subconscious mind, I have a separate subconscious mind. But I don't believe that. I think everyone is connected to just one subconscious mind, one central hub, one body. And that is why I think we can use the subconscious mind as a medium to connect with people and things. But now, if the subconscious mind is the center of all information, we are connected to everything, why can't we mind read? Why don't we have infinite knowledge? Why isn't everyone knowledgeable? Because we are connected to this infinite source of information, right? Here's where it gets interesting. Understand how the world right now is facing problems due to overload of information. So clearly, a massive amount of information is not the solution to our problems. In fact, overload on information might lead to some more problems instead of solutions. So clearly, abundance of information is not a problem. Like, abundance of information will create more problems than solve them. And so that is why I think the subconscious mind power has been blocked from us. We need to really seek out the information, the power available in the subconscious mind through our conscious minds to actually be able to consciously use the powers of the subconscious mind. Because I think, well, a lot of the processes happen automatically between the conscious and subconscious minds. They connect automatically. So the activities like churning our beliefs and thoughts, that happens automatically. But if you want to consciously use the power of the subconscious mind, I think it takes deliberate practice and effort. Now, I just described how the conscious mind is like a phone and the subconscious mind is like the internet. Your conscious mind just interacts with the subconscious mind, right? Let me give you an example here. Suppose you have been given an assignment to write an essay on, trees, and you consciously keep on thinking about trees. You think how the trees look, what are the different types of trees, etc, etc, etc. And you keep thinking about it, you keep kind of squeezing your mind out for ideas, and this rarely works. This will not make you write a winning essay. The essay will be completely moderate. Now, from what I have experienced myself and what I've read online and from what I've heard from a lot of friends, the more effective way to produce a much more winning essay is to sleep on the idea. So you research on the topic, you gather information on the topic, then you think deeply about the topic for a limited amount of time. It is just to process the information inside the conscious mind, and then you just sleep. You just fall asleep, you take some rest, you do something else to keep your mind busy somewhere else so that your mind does not keep thinking about trees, and then randomly in the middle of the day or when you wake up in the morning, you will be hit by fresh ideas. Now, a lot of people will argue, well, is it not just because of the rest? Well, yes, it is of course because of the rest, but then how does the subconscious mind tie with it? I think if it would have been just because of the rest, we would have gotten fresh ideas all the time. We could have just taken a nap, woken up, and boom, here's a new creative idea. But this rarely happens, does it? We only get once in a week or once in a month time when we grab some very creative, very new, very novel idea which absolutely baffles our own minds. And so other than rest, the work of the subconscious here is that we think and collect data on the topic that we need inspiration for, and then the conscious mind, as you sleep, stops working on this because the conscious mind has other priorities to focus to keep your heartbeat going and lungs going, to blood flow going. Everything needs to be going while you sleep, right? Plus your subconscious mind is free. Like your conscious mind just offloads this effort of thinking about trees, and since the subconscious mind has an infinite support of information, there's a lot of information in the subconscious mind beyond whatever we can fathom, plus the computing power, of course. The subconscious mind generates ideas, beliefs and thoughts, as I said, much more creatively, much more easily than the conscious mind. And so when you wake up and you're hit by the fresh idea in the morning, that will be a winning essay right there. Very creative ideas only come through sleeping on the idea. And the only way you sleep on the idea is you think and research about the idea, then fall asleep, give your mind some rest, and then you wake up with fresh ideas. And the best thing is, in this way, you can operationalize idea generation with this. You can operationalize how you can use the subconscious mind for your own benefit. Ever felt connection and attachment to someone or something? Sometimes you can give a rational viewpoint, right? Sometimes you can rationally depict that, okay, this is why I love this thing. Sometimes you can't. Most of the times you can't even tell why you love those headphones, why you bought those new pair of shoes, why you like this person, why you love your mother. There's no reasons for this. You can't make a list and talk about, here's the rational reasons for why I love my family, right? And I don't think we need to focus on the reasoning of why we feel attached to something. Instead, we need to understand how we feel attached to something. As I just said, every conscious mind is connected to the same subconscious mind, and just like text messaging across the internet, we can connect to each other. The subconscious minds do connect with each other, and it's this connection between the subconscious minds which makes us feel attached to that thing or that person. And at the same time, just like text messaging across the internet, you don't text everyone when you text on Instagram, do you? And so in the same way, that is why we don't feel connected with every single person. We don't like every single person we see online. Now, why is this connection important? Of course, for well-being, for fulfilling daily life. Understandable, but here's a new thing: prayer. I am a big believer in prayer, but with a twist to it, which might be controversial. I think prayer is a great way to send a request across to the subconscious mind. When I am praying, I'm closing my eyes and then I'm relaxing my mind, right? And then I'm focusing on the request itself. I think this is how the conscious mind actually questions and asks the subconscious mind for something. When we close our eyes and we relax, kind of like what we do before sleep, right? We actually get into a drowsy sort of a state somehow, and then in this drowsy state is when the connection is the strongest. The connection between the conscious and the subconscious mind is the strongest. That is why right before sleep you need to keep thinking about the ideas for idea generation, right? And so when it comes to prayer, I think this connection is very important. This feeling of drowsiness, this feeling of closing your eyes and relaxation, this is important. And then this is how, like, when we speak for a result, when we address God for something that we want or some thank yous that we want to give, that thing is transmitted to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind gets you ideas and thoughts so that you can achieve that thing which you wanted from God, so that you can get a novel thought with which you can set up a business and then you get rich because you asked God to get rich, right? Like, I want to get rich, God. You ask for that prayer. This is how I think prayers work, honestly, and a lot of people might like it, or a lot of people might not. I'm open to any ideas. And how does connection come into it? How does connection with other conscious minds come into it? Sometimes we pray for other people, and so praying for other people is like sending a request to the subconscious mind for not our conscious mind but for someone else's conscious mind. It's like making a post on social media asking for donations for someone else, and this is a very noble act, because, well, that way when you pray for other people, you feel the fulfillment that, okay, wait, I forwarded this request to the subconscious mind and then I feel fulfilled because that person achieved what they wanted to achieve. So pray for your own good, pray for other people's good, and then see your and their life absolutely change over time. Now, this topic is very wishy-washy. A lot of people don't want to actually talk about this, especially in the self-improvement niche. But I think manifestation is real. Not real in the sense that I need to imagine this thing to happen, but more real as a mental journal. The more clearly I visualize the work that I need to do, the work that I'm supposed to do, the more likely I am to do the work in the first place, and the more better I believe that the work is going to be, the better the work actually output, like the work output is. I cannot tell you the long-term manifestation benefits because I've just seen 19 years of my life and I'm getting into this topic for just the past 2-3 years. But what I use as manifestation and visualization tactics in my daily life is micro visualizations. And so this happened just 2 or 3 days ago. I was taking a shower, and then what happened was I realized that okay, the next task that I need to do is sit on my laptop and edit the video. Then I visualized myself in first person perspective that I am editing the video. I am, clicking buttons on the laptop and then moving around things on the screen. I am editing the video. I imagined it in as much vivid details as possible. I literally thought of opening the app, and then I'm opening the app. The app looks like this, and then I'm clicking this button, and then I'm doing all these extra options and here and there. I imagined the whole process as long as I could. Of course, I'm not taking like an hour long, 2 hours long just to meditate and visualize. No, it's called micro visualizations for a reason. You just do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just imagine yourself do the work. And what happened is my mind started shifting from shower mode, relaxation mode to work mode, and the transition between these started to happen much earlier than when it usually would. And so, for example, if I wouldn't have started this visualization thing, when I got to work, my mind would be actually still thinking about relaxing, right? This is called attention residue. This is something that I learned from deep work. And so when you are doing some work and then shift into another work, the time for the first 5-6 minutes when you're doing the other work, you keep thinking about the previous work. This extra attention which you give to the previous work, even when the previous work is done and you are starting the new work, this extra attention span is called attention residue. And this visualization tactic, this micro visualization, actually has helped me to minimize attention residue because I am starting to transition from relax mode to work mode much earlier, right? My subconscious mind has understood this request that okay, this guy needs to be in work mode, and then started working on my work mode much earlier on. Here's one tip though: whenever you are visualizing yourself do some work, always imagine it in first person perspective, no third person perspective. Don't look at yourself from the sky or any of the thing. Although, like, if that thing works for you, fine, like do that. But what works for me is first person perspective. And the best part again is that you can operationalize this. You can train your mind to shift from work mode to relax mode to a separate work mode. You can train your mind to do these things, and the more you train, the faster the shift takes place.